Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. So last Thursday at the Lagos State Secretariat in Alausa, Ikeja, some supervisors overseeing street sweepers working with the Lagos State Waste Management Authority lamented what they described as poor wages and inadequate welfare support from the agency. Earlier, a video went viral of showing the street sweeper expressing frustration over being shortchanged, maltreated by her superiors, and difficult working conditions. Joining us this morning in the studio is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the agency, Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegesin. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You can also join the conversation and call us on 02016352013 or 09024163440, or you can tweet us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewTVC. So, let's first of all welcome. Let me welcome you again.
Thank you.
Before we fire.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Welcome.
So let's start with this. You're welcome. YK is not very it's suspect, but you know. Let me call for a video first, and then I would ask you my question. So is the video ready?
Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegesin, the CEO of LAWMA, we are calling you out. We are begging you, sir. Mrs. Fola Shade Kadiri, the head public affairs for LAWMA, we are begging you. Mr. Oluwakemi Suleiman, Mr. Kunle Adebiyi, Executive Director of Finance of LAWMA, we are calling you out, sir. We are begging you in the name of God. Mrs. Modupe Opo, Mrs. Jelila Tademiron, ma, we are, and other bosses, we are begging you people. We are begging you, we are calling you out. People should please help us and ask these people. I'm not very sure that it's blood that is running in you people vein. I'm not sure. Because we just don't understand why you people are treating us this very bad. It is absolutely wrong. It is very bad. You understand that you are our boss. Without you, there's nobody like us. And without us too, there's nobody like people, because we are the one working for you. What time people say Yaika? They say Eja or that Dubai.
So this is obviously a lamentation video about the way they are being treated. And I also want to tie this to another video that went viral some time ago by a COP member who was, although she's since apologized, but she was talking about the fact that Lagos is dirty and smelling. So I'd like you to respond to those two.
Okay.
What do you think about?
Yeah. Okay, I thought you
what do you think about the video?
Yeah. So, in with respect to the LAWMA sweeper, who, by the way, that particular sweeper left the program several months ago.
Okay.
So that's a fact. With respect to their pay, they are part-time workers. They're not full-time staff, and they're not staff of Lagos State government.
Okay.
However, once the minimum wage was approved, we decided that even though they're not direct employees of Lagos State, we should adjust their wage to reflect the new minimum wage, which is what we did. And so the current pay they're getting is 40,000 naira a month.
Okay.
And that's for 4 hours of work daily. So that's prorated. If they were full-time staff, they would be making, at that rate, they would be making 80,000 a month, which is 10,000 above the national minimum wage. So it's untrue that we're not, that the government doesn't care about them. The street sweeping program is the flagship program of LAWMA, because those are the first-line employees who are directly responsible for keeping the streets clean. And this program has been in existence since 2008. And at every point along the way, the government has prioritized their welfare. So, I mean, when the minimum wage went up to 35,000, we adjusted accordingly. And the current governor has always prioritized their pay. As soon as state employees are paid, we get paid to pay the contractor companies who then pay the sweepers. So in addition, we have improved the health and safety. We do regular health checkups for them. And in fact, we started looking more closely at the results of those health checkups, we found out that some of them have cataracts, which means that if they're working on the street, they're more at risk. And so we are going to do surgeries for them to make sure that for free. We're also introducing health insurance, which is why a few months ago we did a biometric registration through LASRA. So yes, there may be issues with the program. It's it's partly a empowerment program.
Okay.
Because our expectation is that they do have other means of livelihood. And so the idea is that they sweep for a few hours in the morning and then they can go on. Yes. And so one of the things that the government is also doing is to profile them more closely to see what are those livelihood, what else are they doing beyond the sweeping, so that we can support them accordingly. Okay. For example, if they're hairdressers, we can provide them equipment so that can help their business. So we're doing that. These are actively so ongoing.
You're saying now that at the time that lady made that complaint a few months ago,
no, she made the complaint last week. The video came out last week, but she's not a sweeper right now.
Oh,
so
but she had swept before.
That's from all indications. She swept at some point.
She doesn't work for you guys anymore.
No, she doesn't.
She cleverly wore the uniform
to do the video.
Okay, so
why did you do? Sorry, why did you do the video if she doesn't work for you?
You see, we're moving into a political space now. This is 2 years to 2027. So you're going to see a lot of this. I'm not saying that. In fact, we actually went as far as investigating whether the reason we wanted to know whether she was a sweeper was to make sure that her CEO, these are the vendor companies that manage them on our behalf, to make sure that the CEO was not shortchanging her. And then we discovered that she's not even part of the sweepers.
Anymore.
So we will always respond to these kinds of complaints. But I believe that, and this ties into the other video that you talked about, that as we move into a political period, there's going to be a lot of complaints. People are not happy, one thing or the other, and there will be a lot of
So you're saying Lagos is not smelling and Lagos is not dirty?
Lagos is one of the cleanest cities on the African continent. I can say that. The last Dirty December, if you listen to people who visited and their comments, Lagos is clean and it's getting cleaner. We're not saying that there are not issues anywhere. So let me give you an insight into what's going on in Lagos. We're all familiar with climate change.
Yeah.
One of the results of climate change, because of the march of the Sahara Desert, is that you have climate migrants. And in Lagos, you have millions of them. From my research at LAWMA, based on the volume of waste we're collecting from open spaces, we have no less than 1 million climate migrants living in open spaces, under bridges, and you can see them when you drive around. Nowadays, in the morning, you find people sleeping on the roadside.
Under the bridge, yeah.
They are day laborers, because that's the easiest job for them to do, or they're cart pushers, or they are scavengers. They gather recyclables. At the end of the day, they go and they buy tramadol and all these drugs, and then in the morning, you find them sleeping on the roadside. And these are unaccounted, and they generate a lot of waste that goes into the public spaces as well.
Okay, because it's possible that Lagos will smell because the open defecation is still a thing due to the migration that you talk about.
Exactly.
On that axis where I live, a lot of things are very saddening. But you mentioned that these people from the video we just watched, that some of them are not staff. Most of them are not staff of LAWMA; they are contract staff, which means that you have companies who bid for this sweeping portions contracts and then employ sweepers. Sometime back, a video had broken where a sweeper was alleging that the company in question was either short paying them, owing them over 3 months of salaries. So the issues are many. Now my question is, how do you now become a check? Because when the video surfaces like this, now you mentioned that she's no longer been in the employment for 7 months.
Yes.
But that one will not concern me. Once I see video and I see uniform, that's the way I would look. And I would not need to look for companies. It's you people that I would look at, because I believe that's how it's supposed to be. So how do you now award these contracts, and how often do you review them based on this feedback that these sweepers give you? Because it is possible that they are like that. The other video, I believed that video very much, because I believe that, I looked at some of these sweepers sometimes and I wonder, how can you even see somebody I had to employ someone who was sweeping along the Abeokuta Road at the Ladipo bus stop, where my law office was before, as a sweeper in my office, as opposed to the number of hours she has to put in on the road and the stress of the work. So how often do you review them? How often do you review them based on feedback of their own staff? And how do you do a check to see that whatever is due to the workers are paid and at the time it is due, as opposed to just paddy or remini? I will talk to him on the side.
Okay, so we review their contracts annually. Okay. Currently we're doing a review right now, and we go as far as asking for their bank statements to ensure that they're actually paying the sweepers as when they're supposed to pay them. And when we see such complaints, because we're constantly, we do an annual comprehensive review, but we also have monthly reports from the CEO, from the supervisors, to confirm what they've done. How much work have they done? Are their routes clean? The staff paid? Are they observing safety regulations? So it's an ongoing thing, and we do penalize the CEOs who are found wanting. We met with them yesterday. I had a meeting with them yesterday. These are residents of Lagos who are very passionate about the environment, which is why they're involved in this program. It's not something that they can make a lot of money from, but they're interested in the clean environment. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it's also an opportunity to call out to people to get involved. There are a lot of people who come to us with various support. They give us uniforms, they give us implements, and you can see some of the sweepers, they have branded, corporate sector. Yes. And even some of your panel members have done a great job for us. Murayo did last December, I believe. Yes. Mm-hmm. Brought some welfare materials for the sweepers, which they were very appreciative of. Yeah. We have 980 routes, so the government can't do it alone. Yeah. And that's why we have these CEOs, because they're members of the community. So many of them, it's just within their area. They can go out in the morning. A lot of them are retirees. They go out, they monitor the sweepers, and some of them are even spending more than what we give them for the sweepers, just to ensure that. So it's a successful program.
Is it possible you owe them also? You have to go and the contractors.
We have to go on a break.
Contractors at any point.
You know what?
We don't.
You answer the question when we come back. We have to go on a break now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll still have our MD for LAWMA in the house, Ms. Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegesin, and Ramatu was ready with the question.
So I agree with you that Lagos is clean, but I think we should still do more. We should still do better to make it one of the cleanest states in this. So, and you mentioned the fact that we need to take care of our employees, and you're like you people are planning the health insurance stuff and everything. And so I'm wondering why it took you this long for you to start planning all of this, the health insurance and all of those things that you mentioned. And then you've mentioned it now, let it not just be that we are just talking for talking's sake. How fast are you going to implement all of these things so that at least they can start enjoying the benefits, so that you can stop this video from coming out again? From
next quarter. So we've done the biometric registration, because you remember they're not our direct employees. We actually had to go out, register them, profile them, and now we're moving to the stage of enrolling them in Ilera Eco. So we're in talks with the agency in charge of that now. Okay. So from next quarter, we will have them on the health insurance program. All our other staff.
So hold you to it. Next quarter. Yes. It's starting from April, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, your question?
So I have this message from Tantoluwa Shindara. She says, I have a friend working for you, sir. You've held their salary for months. That's from him. And I know that because we have some coming around the shrine, and they're always begging for money. They don't have money. So we give them money, to clean the gutters and everything. So are you sure you are really on top of this payment of these people? One. Two, in the Western world, they use all these things to make the job easy. When are you going to implement that so that they will stop saying Lagos is stinking?
Okay, so for the...
Did you have to ask this question?
For the first question, I'd like to know details of that complaint so we can investigate.
Okay, they should send details.
So I will send him a message.
It should not be from LAWMA that's happening. It could be maybe a CEO. They might have some kind of dispute. but
that's why
we'll
I was talking
investigate
about
that.
reviewing them.
Yeah, we'll
they're
investigate
humans.
that if I can get the details. For the second question, we already use mechanical sweepers on some of our routes.
Okay.
What we've done is we've classified the routes and we've identified vulnerable routes. So for those vulnerable routes, we're going to expand mechanical sweeping so that you're not going to see sweepers on major highways, Third Mainland, and we plan to bring in that equipment by the end of this year.
Okay.
Should you-
2025.
That equipment,
Well,
yes, and including
Say
part
end
of the reason why if you go to some areas you smell something. Some of that smell is from methane, and these are the things that are called greenhouse gases.
Okay.
So when we're talking about global warming, you have to reduce that. We have a lot of organic waste, and unfortunately, our people are dumping organic waste into the drainage channels, primary,
Okay.
secondary, tertiary.
Okay, so
We
your
have
market.
to go.
Can you
You still
quickly
want us
finish?
to ask this question?
Yeah,
He
we
was
have
in the
to
middle of
go.
a question.
Yeah, I
He
think
was still
I would
talking.
like to come back so we can talk about some
Yes.
of the big ticket items,
Yeah.
programs of Lagos State that will help us to process waste much better.
Yeah.
I would
Thank you
love to
so
come back
much
and talk
for
about
Come
that.
back.
Thank you for
joining us
having
today.
me.
We've been talking to the MD CEO, Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegesin, and you have
Gbadegesin.
and you have
Gesin,
enlightened
don't
us
be
on
Not Yoruba.
what's happening in Lagos and environs. Thank you so much. We hope
Thank
to have you come back so that you have like a full show with you where you enlighten us. Let's take a short break now. When we come back, the show continues. Stay with us.
Ready for our bullets.
Oh,
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.